It's been a minute since I've been on, but I wanted to come on real quick. I won't be here long, but I did want to talk about um, I guess I'm gonna say just a subject that I had earlier today, and I said that it would be a good idea for me to make this video so I can share with you guys some of this conversation that I had with a very good friend of mine. The subject was basically talking about titles and functions and you know um, what what's more important in a relationship, and don't worry, I'm going to explain it because I don't have any notes here, and I wanted to just kind of jump in and do this video kind of off the cuff because it was such a important conversation, and I just really want to get in here and share it with you. What's valuable to you, what's important when you are developing your relationships. And I believe if you was to if you would just take time and just hear me, I believe I can help you. And then and for the ones who say, Eric, man, I understand what you're talking about, I just don't buy into it. Listen, I understand and I appreciate you as well. But what I want you to see is that there's a difference between having a title and versus having a function. Okay, there's a difference between having a title and having a function. In other words, I could, and I gave an analogy of I can have a title of a boss. I'm your boss. I never did this job before. I never, maybe I am the son of the owner, and because I'm the son, I was given this position, I was given this title, and this title put me above you. So I have this title of supervisor, manager, boss, however you want to call it, but I don't understand the job. I don't really operate in the function, but I do have the title. And that's important to understand, because what I want you to understand next is that there's a place where you can have the title of a boyfriend or girlfriend and don't actually operate in that function. Now, when you relate it to, that son of the owner, you can understand, well, there is a place where, I have to acknowledge him as my boss, but in reality, I know that he doesn't operate in that function because he really don't understand the actual job. Now, I know that's not the best analogy, but I wanted to give you that foundation. I wanted to kind of start out right there. But then now I want you to look at your relationship, and this is where this conversation kind of took off. I want you to look at what's more important in your relationship. Is it the title or is it the function? What's more important to you? Is the title important to you, to where do you go into a relationship and say, I really want the title of boyfriend, or I really want the title of girlfriend, not really understanding what that function is? I mean, I just bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. Because what I want to do, I want to talk about the difference between, what's more important, you having a friend in the relationship, or you having a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the relationship. I know I got your attention now, because I know this is one of those things where, you say, well, listen, there's nothing. Or let's put it this way, is, in the hierarchy of things, most people are saying, well, we start out as friends or acquaintance or getting to know each other, going on dates, or however you want to look at it. And then at some point you elevate to boyfriend or girlfriends. You have went to another level, and maybe after boyfriend and girlfriends is, maybe you get engaged, and now you fiancés, and then your next step is marriage. But see, this is the problem that I see in relationships, and this is why I wanted to do this video, because there are levels to this game. There are levels to this game, and I want you to think about it like this. I want you to think about it that you was constructing a beautiful building, a beautiful home, or whatever. But you're constructing something, and any builder knows that in order for this building to be successful, I have to have a strong foundation. I have to have a strong foundation. So what I want you to do is look at that friendship as that strong foundation. And the reason why I want you to do that, because if you run past the friendship, if you rush that part of the process, your building is going to be shaky. It's going to be unsafe. The structure is not going to be sound. And if we're wondering why we are not being successful in relationships, I want to submit to you that it's because our foundation is off. It's skewed. Our foundation is not solid. The winds will come. The storms would come, and the winds will blow, and all of a sudden you see that structure that you put so much into, you see it falls, and you're wondering why. See, I was talking to someone, and they said, well, hey, I want to go. It's important to me that I don't stay in this friend zone too long, because I don't give it any credibility. Friendships, there's one thing, but I want to go to the next level. I want to go to the place where, we have, more of a commitment. And so they rush past the friendship, and they go into the next phase, what we'll call that boyfriend and girlfriend phase. And then the wind blows, because the storm is coming, and the wind blows, and then all of a sudden you realize that you had no substance. You didn't have anything. Your foundation was not solid. And then whatever the relationship is, you seen that it crumbled. It fell to the woes of life. It fell to those natural disasters that comes in relationship. It did not last, and you're wondering why. I want you to understand, it did not make it because you did not have a solid foundation. You didn't. In other words, you skip past the friendship part. You say, hey, why is that so important to you? Well, let me go back a bit. Let's talk about this friendship. See, what I want you to do, I want you to think about all the boyfriends you had, and I want you to think about all the girlfriends you had. And I know some is going to take a little longer, because you may have been out there and you went through a lot of that stage in your life, and I'm not judging you on that. I just want you to think back and just think about how long do they last? Do that relationship last 3 months? Does it 6 months? Does it do a year? How long is your average relationship lasting? I want you to think about that, and when you're done getting that number, I want you to start thinking about that best friend of yours. I want you to start thinking about that, and I want you to think about how long you had that best friend. I want you to think about all the stuff that you confided in, and all the secrets that y'all hold, and the good days and the bad days, and I want you to think about how you made a commitment to your friend that we'll forever be friends. And I want you to think about how to this day, if you like me, that you can go back and you can, and you have friends from, you know, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And, I can think back to where, man, me and this person, we've been friends, man, just about all my life. Because we had a solid foundation. It was established like that. And I know what you're thinking. You say, well, man, it's a difference. You're talking about comparing, a platonic relationship with a romantic relationship, and it's not fair to do that. Well, see, there's a reason why I do it, because one, I want us to become successful in our relationships, and I'm trying to think of ways to make this thing make sense, because we're going around and we're suffering. And I'm simply saying, man, it's just got to be a better way. And so what I want you to understand is that I do understand that it's a difference when you're comparing the two. But what I want you to understand is that if you started out with a solid foundation, when the wind blows and when the storms of life comes in, you can go back and say, you know what, man, he really pissed me off, but that's my friend. Man, I don't like the way she treated me, but you know what? Really, she's my best friend. See, something about that relationship that is going to tie you together, and it's going to be so strong. Oh man, come on. Let me just deal with this because I need to get off of this. I need to get off. So I want to share with this. If you read the scriptures, one, you're gonna know that Jesus was in his ministry 3 years, 3.5 years, let's say 3 years, and when you read the scriptures, you're gonna notice that he dealt with those disciples certain ways. He called them certain things, and he addressed them certain ways. Okay, but what I want you to understand is that in 3 years into that, leading up to the cross, is only when he started referring to them as his friend. Is the reason why the scriptures talk about a friend that will stick closer to you than a brother. Is a reason why they reference it as a friend. See, what I want you to understand when we look at the life of Jesus, we're seeing the fact that, one, he did not take it lightly. He didn't take friendship lightly. And I think one of the things that the problem with us is that we use that name, friend, that function, we use it very lightly, because we have given people titles that doesn't operate in that function. So we are calling people friends that's not actually operating in the function of being a friend. We just gave them a title, just like I'm gonna put my son as your boss, but does not operate in the function of being a boss, because he don't understand what it takes. And see, what Jesus is telling us is that, it takes time for us to develop a friendship, because we need to find that person worthy to be called a friend. And so so just to sum this thing up, when I look at the whole dating process, I want you to understand that for me, what I want you to understand is that first, man, the greatest title you can give someone is the title of friend. It's the greatest title that you can give someone. And I know there's a lot of people who's gonna say, you know what, that means nothing. There's gonna be some people that say, that I want more in a relationship. I I want to be boyfriend. I want to be girlfriend, and to be called just a friend is belittling. But I want you to understand that there is no greater title. There's no greater function than the function of a friend. Man, what greatness would it be when your friend becomes your lover? And see, what I want you to understand is that there is a process to it. I want you to understand that you know, when it comes to the dating world, I want you to establish that friendship. Because what we're talking about is ultimately how to have a successful marriage. What we're talking about is how to get over that point. And man, I know that there's some people that started out as best friends, got married, and did not make it. Listen, I understand that. But what I want you to understand is that, man, you know, that you can do it in a way to where you can look at you can look at jumping into this relationship, man, and going into, man, just bypassing the whole friendship, going all the way into, you know, hey, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. Man, you can do all of that, but don't be surprised when hell breaks loose and you realize that you don't have anything to hold on to. Your foundation is shaking and you're falling apart. Don't be surprised. And I'm not telling you that the storm is not going to come when you lay that solid foundation. I'm not telling you that storm is not coming. What I'm telling you, what I want you to understand, and I want you to feel this from the bottom of my heart. What I'm saying is that if you get the foundation right, if you lay that foundation, if you get that solid foundation, when the storm comes, you will have something solid to hold on to. And when you can do that in the confines of a marriage, man, I promise you we're going to do a better job. Oh, we're going to do a better job. I know that the divorce rate is going to drastically decrease because now you operate in the function of that title. You operate in the function of that title. So listen, guys, I believe that I brought this point home. Listen, you know, I didn't want to stay on here long, and I think I did that. You know, I think I did it, and I think I hope and I pray that you got the point. But if you did not get anything, I want you to get this. Listen, there's a right way to do something. You're gonna have to make the decision. And when it falls, you're going to have to understand that there was a right way of doing something. So guys, listen, man, love you. My name is Eric Kirk. I'm the author of The Power To, The Power To Workbook, and The Power To Planner. Listen, guys, until next time, man, love you and be blessed.